All right. We are live. Okay, so we'll just talk right into this. It should be okay. I got the mic maxed out, and my dog is biting my hand. Okay, so episode 3 of the podcast. Yeah, because
I don't know. I don't watch this podcast.
Yeah, neither do I. Honestly, the dogs are jumping around in the background, which is fun.
It's the family podcast.
It's the family podcast. Today I'm joined by my lovely girlfriend, Becca, aka Morse, of course. We have quite the episode. Basically, we're just going to talk about speedrunning from her perspective, and then we're going to talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake, as well as the PlayStation 5. So, first of all, I wrote up some questions I want to ask you. And I guess we can kind of touch base on those as we go. The dogs. Holy heck. Get out of here with this playfulness, pups.
How dare you play?
I know. How dare they play? Okay, so.
I'm starting to think our disciplinarian lifestyle is not working out.
I know. Those dogs really, all they do is... It's either they're like incredibly hyper or they're dead asleep.
Mm-hmm.
But, alright. So basically, I wrote up a little list of questions for you. Because I kind of want to get your opinion on speedrunning from a person who doesn't speedrun.
You found the right person for that.
I guess so.
Do not speedrun. Okay.
Okay, so first of all, I want to just start it out, I guess, like, what's your favorite game in general?
Oh, I feel like, which might be controversial, but Final Fantasy X-2, like the least game of all Final Fantasy games.
The least game.
It is like...
It games the least.
I tell you what, it was like the first game I ever played that was like not Looney Tunes Adventure or whatever. And like 3 cool girls that like all had cool different outfits, different things, and it was so confusing starting a Final Fantasy on a sequel and not knowing any of the first game.
Yeah, because 10's story is gigantic.
Yeah, and so starting and then being like, I know who you are, and I'm like, I have no idea who you are.
Yeah.
But it was so fun, and I used to do it with my cousins all the time, and we would play and try and like max out different dress spheres. And this was like when Blockbuster was still a thing. And they had the no late fees, and we just never gave back the game. Like, we were constantly playing it. So I think that was, like, my favorite just for the amount that I've played. But there's other games that, like, I love their story or, like, the art style. But I just think when I think of favorite game, it's like, you just can't beat, like, 10-2. And, like, I'll fight anybody who wants to argue, but it's the best.
People rip on that game way too hard.
Yeah.
And
I get it though. Like, because that was the first Final Fantasy I ever played, so I really had no base game to compare to. And like now playing Final Fantasy games, I'm like, oh, there's a lot to do. Whereas 10-2 is a lot of like kind of
it's like tasking in a way.
Yeah, it's like not fun things. Like the sphere, the comm spheres, and like that was all whole chapters just like watching comm spheres and shit. But God, I love the dress spheres, and I love Yuna and Riku and Pain. And by God, I love those music cutscenes. I mean, you've seen me. Like, I fully reenact every cutscene.
No, that's a solid game.
I'll stand by it.
Yeah. And I guess that answered my second question, which what about it is fun, or what stands out to you in that game?
I really love the dress spheres. I loved all the different things you could be and all the different attacks you could use or styles you wanted to be. I mean, Berserker has always been one of my favorites, and that's like the monster animal one. You're super strong, but you can also do like a really weak one like songstress, but it's all like status. So it's just kind of like you kind of play all the roles or job systems in Final Fantasy with just 3 characters, and you can like interchange them whenever you want.
Yeah, that is. I feel like a lot of people don't agree with it, but that is in pretty much the most direct way you can put it. That is the job system.
Oh yeah,
and a lot of people love Final Fantasy V because of that.
Have we played 5? What one's the one we're playing now?
We're playing 6 right now.
Okay.
No, I have yet to play 5, honestly. It's the only one I haven't played. And a lot of that is because it's hard to find a good English release for it. But I've got the Game Boy Advance version. I want to play through that. But yeah, so like it's like the job system. A lot of people didn't like the execution of the way they did the dress spheres in 10-2.
A lot of people are wrong. So.
Yeah. No, 10-2 is a solid game. So if you're looking at, we discussed what your favorite game is.
Okay.
If we're looking at your favorite game in a speedrun sense, do you think Final Fantasy X-2 would be a good speed game in your eyes?
Absolutely not.
No?
No. I feel like... I don't know. I feel like any of the Final Fantasies, they just get too long. And I think we even looked at the Final Fantasy X-2 speedrun, and it's like 20 hours.
That's for like 100%, I think.
Anyway,
but yeah.
I just think the fun part of it is the trying out dress spheres and getting, like, to explore how much you can complete, doing, like, the Bevel Underground. That stuff's always a fun part. I think with the speedrun, you basically just, either if you're doing New Game Plus, you already have your stuff maxed out where you need it to be. And then you're just basically using Mascot, or you're using, like, Dark Knight throughout it. So it's like you kind of lose the fun aspect. And then you just... Yeah. And the story's not the strongest with 10-2. So I feel like what you get to see in a speedrun, I don't think is the best part of the game. Right,
because I feel like the best part of 10-2 is literally just the cutscenes. And a lot of what's fun about 10-2 is like leveling up the dress spheres and trying different new combinations and fighting all the secret bosses, because a lot of the hidden bosses in 10-2 are really, really hard.
Yeah.
And that makes it fun. But I feel like if you're whipping through it, you're literally playing the same 12 areas 5 times.
Right, and I think, I mean, if you're going as fast as you can, you're only going to hit the hotspot mission, so then you're only going to be hitting like certain 1 or 2 missions for every chapter.
Right.
And so I don't think it might be, I might be wrong, and I might love it, but I just feel like I wouldn't like it.
In your experience, yeah. Okay. So that leads me to my next question here. In the past, however long you've known about speedrunning, because it's probably
4 years.
Yeah, 4 years. Yeah, since you met me, it's like 4.5 years. What has been some of your favorite speedruns to watch?
Ooh. I really like the Resident Evil speedruns. Especially, I liked Resident Evil 4, but you never... No shade. Never got really good at it. So that was more frustrating to watch than good. But even like Resident Evil 2, I just like those like skill-based ones. Where I think like movement-based is always good. But I just am not a movement person, so I don't think I appreciate it as much. Where it's like, you're really good at Mega Man or Super Metroid, and like it looks cool, but I feel like I don't appreciate how tough movement is to be like, that's fucking sick that you can do it.
Right.
Versus like with Resident Evil, I personally know firsthand how horrible I am with shooters, where I can't even like hit something straight ahead of me. I'm like shooting all over, or, like not looking at it. And so for like you to have precise shots of like headshot, zombie down, headshot, zombie down, dodge the zombie, like slash here, like I appreciate that so much more because I've struggled with that. And so I think with the movement based games that you do, I've never tried to do good movement, so I don't think I appreciate it as much.
See, what's interesting about that too is I wanted to mention, you mentioned like movement that's really hard, stuff that's really hard for you, and then you see someone else just annihilate it. There's some sort of like fascination in that.
Yeah, or like acknowledgement of like, that's super tough and you're killing it. Versus like if I've never done a puzzle game, Like, I wouldn't know how hard it is to get Tetris down because I've never done it.
Right.
And so then you can see it and be like, oh, that's cool. But I think there's that aspect of the more you struggle with a game to see someone else do it so flawlessly, I think that's where that appreciation comes.
Right. A huge game that is one of the most widely speedrun games in the world, Super Mario 64. It's like I tried to pick that game up. That game's really hard to control, Mario.
Mm.
And
because it's got shitty graphics.
I was like, well, I'm like, I bet I'm like decent enough at the game. Maybe I could figure it out and get better at it. But it's literally one of those games that is so incredibly precise. But another one that's just insanely fun to watch is Mario Odyssey.
I love Mario Odyssey.
Odyssey speedruns are the greatest.
And I hate Mario, and I loved Odyssey.
Yeah, those speedruns are so fun to watch. Not only because the movement tech looks really cool, but the game itself is just very colorful. The music,
it's so fun.
Yeah, it's really fun.
And I like it. I've never seen the speedrun of it, or I think we have. But just like getting all the moons is such a different experience. It's not like do the same puzzle, get a moon, do the same puzzle. It's like sometimes you're 3D, sometimes you're 2D, sometimes you're in a bomb form. Sometimes it's like, it's always different and fun. And I think that's what holds my attention a lot with my goldfish brain.
So like when you're watching a speedrun, your favorite aspects are basically like if you can enjoy the gameplay and then actually just enjoy, if the run keeps your interest, then you're...
Yeah. Or like... I hate glitches. Like, I hate when you basically aren't even playing the game anymore, where it's, like, all out of bounds play, or you have to, like, remember what, like, broken pixel you have to be on to, like, drop through to clip through, like... And, like, it's fine if you know how to do it and it's a good skill, but for me, I'm just like, why even play this game? Like, you could literally put any, like, cover on the game and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference of what game you're playing because you're all out of bounds.
Right.
And so I always like games that like you actually have to play to complete.
Right. We were watching that one day because you were Sly Cooper. Because you were like, oh yeah, let's watch the speedrun of that, and we watched a good game. The AGDQ or SGDQ run of the glitched, and they skipped literally
like whole worlds or like levels,
and it's like that's interesting, but it's also like, what am I watching?
I know, and then it's like they missed my favorite like levels or like the things that I'm like, I played this as a child, it took me forever. And it's just like, oh, they just skipped that whole like 10 worlds.
It is interesting to see like games that are so easily broken like that when people run all stages. That's the fun. Those are the fun categories because you actually get to see everything. Yeah. And that's where I feel like more execution is involved when you have to play. Literally, you're playing more of the game. Right. So it's a lot more to the speed run than just like, oh, I know how to clip through this wall and skip everything. Right. So yeah, there was what is it? Metal Gear Rising I ran for a while that was like that, where most of the speed run and how good your time was dependent on if you could pull off all the like major glitches to get through it. Or else the game was like super long.
But then it seems like I like Resident Evil 4 and you have to use glitches to get through that. But I think you still see the game.
Yeah, there's no like giant skips. Yeah. There's a boss skips, but that's like not...
Right, but you still like pop up behind them. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like hypocritical in what I decide is a good glitch versus a bad glitch, but that's life.
I don't know, I feel like that's really valid though, because like when you go to watch a speedrun, you want to watch the game be played, or at least I would think. So that makes sense. So do you? With that said, we were talking about like Final Fantasies, like runs and stuff. What? And this is a question, a note I had written down. Does the length of a run affect the quality of the run? Do you think the length of the speed run affects the quality or viewing pleasure of you?
Ooh. I feel like it might. Like, I'm not gonna sit down and watch a 12-hour speed run. Like, I'm just not going to. That's like half my day wasted to watch someone do it. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that they'd be a bad speedrunner, but I just think for me, my attention gets lost after like an hour and a half topping it off.
And you think to yourself, you're like, I've got 10 more hours to watch.
Right. Or they're still in the beginning stages. Or it's like, this is my only day off, I'm not gonna.
Right.
But then also, if it's like a 5-minute speed run, I don't like that either. Because then I'm just like, what's the point of this? Mm-hmm. Like, you're literally basically starting a timer to stop the timer. So, I like a good in-between where it shows enough that it's like challenging enough to get through, but not like so long and tedious that it's mostly just clicking through text.
Yeah.
Doggers.
Yeah. So on the topic of dogs, they've been playing for how long have we been? 15 minutes now? Non-stop, just chomping on each other. Hey Meekers, what's up, buddy? Okay. Oh jeez. God. Okay, so yeah, I can agree with you there. I think that, like, especially if like being the runner of a game, like I ran Final Fantasy 7 and 8 and tried to do 9. 9, I just didn't like the game enough to sit there for 9 hours.
Yeah, I know you were taking notes on it, and I was like,
yeah. Oh, no. And I had played through 9 and beat it in about 11 hours, and I was like, I think I'm good. I don't think I need to do this again. 7 I really like because it's one of my favorite games. But it's every time I get excited to like run 7, I do like a practice playthrough with notes and stuff, and it's like I realize I don't ever really have that much time to commit to a 9-hour run.
Right.
And I remember the first couple times I ran it, I was like so mentally and physically drained at the end of that, because I was like, man, I just literally sat in this chair for my first one was 10.5 hours. And
you couldn't do it.
10.5 hours trying to meticulously play something and do everything correctly is just a lot. So, like, it's not only draining. Well, some people can do it all day. There's a speedrunner by the name of Luzbeheim that pretty much exclusively speedruns RPGs like Final Fantasy.
Oh, wow. Good for him. Or her. I don't know who.
It's, him. But he can sit there for like every stream he does is like Final Fantasy 7, 8, or 9.
Wow.
I just couldn't do it.
That's just so much time. And like, I know you've gotten fucked, like pincer attacked where you weren't planning on being, or like schizo being crazy. And it's like you just sit there and you're like, this was 4 hours in. And it's like, do I reset? Am I just done for the day? Like, I don't know. I just feel like there's that sense of just, what did I really accomplish?
Right.
Versus, like, you know, can reset a couple of, like, quick ones and be like, you know what? Like, I got through a couple. At least I practiced this. And then those ones, it's like, you don't really get to practice. It's more like just playing the full thing as a practice.
Pretty much, yeah. And then you got... that's why I like to keep the games I run, like, kind of around the, I don't know, half hour to hour range. Because it's like I can stream and do a number of runs in a single session instead of like I have to plan out 7 hours to sit there and just do one playthrough.
Well, something else I like too is randomizers. Like, I've really fallen in love with them. I think there's no better way to showcase that you know a game and you have a skill in the game than being able to do randomizers. Because, like, to get Super Metroid, and you get, like, Ridley first room, and it's like, okay, you're taking heat damage, you're going against Ridley, you only have the first gun, like, minimal health, like, how are you going to pull it off? And to, like, pull that off, I think as a viewer, it's just like, holy fuck, this guy knows his shit.
Yeah,
and like that makes it so much more exciting to me because it's like, okay, I watch the same speed run all the time, and it's like the same thing, and you get the same equipment, and you know the same like kind of fight basically, and to see the streamer be put on this like kind of almost on their back feet like scrambling is such a cool feeling, which is like reminds me a lot of just like physical sports of you have to adapt and like figure out a new pattern or like what do we have that we're equipped with, and that's just so much more enjoyable because it puts like real stakes on the line. Like, is he gonna do it? Oh my god, is he gonna be clutch? Is he gonna like crush it? You know, versus like, oh, he's done this room a million times. Like, he's never had a problem.
Yeah. Random, like, especially the SNES Superstars marathon I just did. The channel that's done on it's called Speed Gaming. Speed Gaming hosts Super Metroid and Link to the Past randomizer competitions. And they put people head to head against each other to see who can get through different seeds the fastest.
Oh, that'd be cool. So everyone gets the same randomizer, or everyone's got a different randomizer?
I think I'm not completely sure, but I think they do both. So I think
that'd be super cool.
Sometimes they have the same seed and they have to go through and do it. I think like sometimes they have different seeds and have to both adapt differently to their own seed.
I love that. Like, it reminds me of the Bear Grylls meme of like improvise, adapt, overcome, you know? But that's what I feel like. And that's what I live for, is like to see someone who knows the game so well to be like, I was just given like plasma beam. Like, this is who I can kill, this is who I can't. Like, just from getting one weapon, I know exactly what's opened up to me, you know? Versus, like, me, I could be like, ooh, missiles. Like, that doesn't do anything, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
No, yeah, there's definitely something to be said about randomizers and, like, having to adapt to literally every new item you get. And, like, it's gotten to the point where people know if you find an item in this area, you're bound to find X, Y, or Z item in another area, just dependent on how the seeds are built. It's crazy because if they're like, well, there's, you know, you item check this, it's not Varia, it's got to be in A, B, or C other spot. It's the games are getting down to that much of a science. It's unbelievable, and there's some people that can adapt impeccably well, and then there's some people, you know. They're still learning, obviously. Like, it's all like a learning curve. But
I was just thinking it'd be fun if there was a Final Fantasy VII randomizer where it's like monster randomizer, where you could just like run across like, oh, what's the final Sephiroth? Why does I feel like he's called like Crazy Sephiroth?
Safer Sephiroth?
Safer Sephiroth. Like, just like the first battle you get into or something. Like, that'd be fun.
Well, there was Caleb Hart. He just recently did Dark Souls randomizer where every single normal enemy is a boss.
Oh, jeez.
So, like...
So they're just, like, walking around and it's just, like...
He'll just walk around and a normal enemy shows up and it's, like, a major boss.
What?
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
It makes the game, like, absolutely ridiculous.
But see, it's, like, things like that where it's just... Like, it just breaks out the like, it keeps the essence of the game, but it just makes it so much more... skill-based, in my opinion. Like, I just think those are fun. And, like, I've been doing a lot of Pokemon randomizers, because, you know, how much of a gamer I am. But, like, it's just, I haven't gotten bored of it yet. Like, I come across all these legendary Pokemon just, like, in random grass battles. And I'm like, it's just so exciting. And you get to see so much more of a Pokédex that, like, more of the time you just get Pidgeys or Rattatas. And it's like, oh my god, there's Entei and Suicune. Like, what is going on? So it just makes you love the game even more. And that's why I like
it's like definitely different because it's like you've played played vanilla Super Metroid like thousands of times, so there's nothing new about it to me.
Boring.
So it's really fun to just be like, oh shit, like I got Screw Attack as my first item. And it's like, it just, if anything, it casually makes it more fun too.
I always like the door randomizers too that you guys have for the project base, and I'm assuming more Metroid communities. But I like the idea that you could like just beat Kraid and the next room is like Kraid again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Super Metroid Arcade.
Yeah.
That's super fun to do.
Yeah, those are fun.
This is literally like a door/item rando.
Yeah, those are cool.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, so on the topic of Final Fantasy, what we were talking about earlier, we're gonna do a little quick transition here. The new Final Fantasy VII remake is coming out in 3 months. 3 months. Your thoughts?
I'm going to lose my boyfriend for 4 months after that.
Probably.
I'm excited for it. All the trailers and stuff look cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little nervous about it not being turn-based anymore and how that's going to work.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that I can't be nervous until I try it.
Right.
Seems like a lot of people that have tried it really like it, but then I know a lot of people just like suck Seven's dick, so I don't know if they're just like excited and anything comes, you know?
Right. Although the tech demo they released, as well as finally seeing, I didn't watch the whole thing. We watched the very end of the demo where Cloud and Barret are at the end of the reactor and you have to fight Guard Scorpion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was outrageously awesome to see.
Yeah, and I'm also a little meh about it being 3 games and the first game just being Midgar, and I'm worried that it's going to be just a lot of the same background.
Yeah.
Like, I like a variety of my games where it's like you could go to the mountains, or you could go to the water, the grass, or a desert, which 7 has, but then it's like you're just in Midgar, so it's like, is it just going to be city fighting? Like
slums and...
Yeah, and then it's like, what are we going to fight? Just like... what are they called? What are the Turks, but not the Turks? Who are just like the normal guys that are just working for
like Shinra soldiers.
Shinra, yeah, like it's just gonna be Shinra officers, and it's like that's gonna get fucking boring.
Yeah, well, what I'm hoping they do, because apparently this is what they said they're gonna do, is they're expanding Midgar a ton. So hopefully it's like you can traverse different towns in Midgar instead of it just being like Sector 7, like they had in the original. Because, if you're going to make 2 full-length Blu-ray discs worth of gaming content, there's got to be more than just that first area.
Right. But, so I'm hoping that they at least give a variety of locations and battles. I like that they showed the mini games because I do like a little bit of a break from main story. I hope there's a lot of side quests because I like to get lost in side quests.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they just do like avalanche missions where you kind of like do terrorist organization things.
Mm-hmm.
That would be cool. I don't know. I'm a little like I'm reserving my hype because from what we saw from the demo, it was just that same city underground mechanical
like
area,
almost steampunkish.
Yeah, and it's like I want there to be more than that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and
but Tifa looks sweet.
Yeah,
I'll fangirl over Tifa any day.
The characters look awesome. Like I think they did a very good job with the character models, especially compared to like earlier versions of the character models they made. They made Cloud the first model they made back in the day. I want to say like 4 years ago. He looked very like anime-ish, and he had kind of like I fucking hate it, but the Advent Children hair,
like super spiked.
No, it's like more spiked to the side, and it's not as like it's not like the original where he has like the giant spike, where his hair is like crazy looking. Yeah. This is more like his hair is a lot shorter. And I'll show you a picture of it later. But yeah, so like they have the Advent Children hairstyles. What I think we're gonna roll with at first, and I was like, no, like because it's not like that. It's like there's a picture. By the way, no one can see this. I'm pointing to a picture on my wall of Cloud. Yeah, it's more like short and different looking. But they really took Cloud and took the original and definitely made it as close as they could get, I think, to making the character look like he did in the original.
Do you think they're going to do any online stuff?
I don't know. I kind of hope not.
I really hope it's not microtransaction-y.
I don't know how you would make it microtransaction-y though. You know, I don't know.
Unlocking things.
They'd find a way, like buying
They're
every
making
summon.
3 games. Yeah.
Yeah, which I'm already upset.
I hope
about
there's
that.
customizability though. Like I feel like it'd be fun to like be able to put like not 8-bit Cloud, but like like different clothes, like the purple outfit on Cloud or something like that. I hope they have some sort of fun.
I think it'd be kind of neat if they took the
or you could keep Cloud in his drag the whole game or something. Like I feel like that would be fun.
Be like beat it and then you can like switch your outfits or something. What I think would be neat is what is it? Resident Evil 2 remake had it so you could get the original pixelated Leon.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of neat.
That's what I like. I like games that can make fun of themselves or like they don't take themselves too seriously. Mm-hmm. And I feel like Final Fantasy VII, as it came out, was a game that did not take itself too seriously. Like they did have a cross-dressing scene, and they did have Honeybee in, and they had like little tongue-in-cheek things. And it's like I hope they still keep that humor in the game and not try to make it like this is the game that everybody has been waiting for. More of like, hey, like this is the game everyone loves, and like here's little of us making fun of ourselves too.
Yeah, and like it's even like later in the game, like they had more serious themes, like meteor is going to end the planet in 7 days, but they still like had the fun, like goofy, fun dialogue in between all the serious moments. I wonder how that's going to translate to like new technology, like how they're going to do it with like voice acting. Because certain things could, when you're reading dialogue the whole time, you can read it how you want it in your head. So I feel like it's a lot more expressive if you can imagine how all the characters sound in your own head, or it's like it's very set in stone how the characters act, sound, and are with the voice acting. And I wonder how fans are gonna relate to the voice acting, which the voice acting sounds pretty solid so far.
Yeah, I haven't had any issues with that. But I just hope there's stuff to do. Like it's like my favorite thing is of 7. I'm like, oh, I love the chocobo racing, and it's like that probably won't be in it yet, or it's like
this is gonna be in the next version,
right?
Yeah.
Or like I loved exploring the like world, or doing the battle on with the birdie on top of it.
Oh, Fort Condor.
It's like that won't be in it yet, and it's like I loved like riding around on the little Bronco. That won't be in it yet. I love like that won't be in it yet. And it's like, so what am I excited for? Midgar, where Cloud's like, ugh, and Eris is like, oh, I've got flowers, and it's like, that's what I'm excited about. I don't know, but I think it'll be better than what, because there's gonna be stuff that there isn't in there before. But I just like think of the things that I liked about it, and I'm like, I have to wait 4 years for that part.
Yeah. And another console jump as well, because it's slated to be second and third releases are PS5, which is whatever cool because like the main engine of the game is built. Now they just have to like create the rest of the game.
Yeah, but I don't like the fact that like
you have to jump consoles to play.
Yeah, I have to buy a new console to complete a game.
That is kind of weird. I don't know how they're going to do that.
I hope they release it on both. The 4 and 5.
I don't know if they're going to be able to, though, unless they dumb down the graphics to an immense
amount. I mean, Skyrim can be released on the Switch. I think that they can find a way to give the PS4 the same game. Because, like, that's a lot to ask of people, is to buy 3 games, all at $60, with 2 of the games needing a new $500 system to play.
Yeah.
It's like, you give me this game, I want to be able to finish it from this console that I'm on.
So if we're thinking what the first Final Fantasy VII is going to be, which I'm just going to call it, the remake, part 1. You think you've got, you got the opening sector. This is what the original had. The opening sector. You had the 7th Heaven Bar where you meet Tifa.
Mm-hmm.
You have the second sector you go through, you fight Airbuster. You meet Aerith.
Mm-hmm.
Or Aerith, I'm sorry.
You fight around a church.
You fight in the church. You meet Reno and you fight, which is, I think they added that and they showed a little bit of that, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
You go and you meet Don Corneo.
Mm-hmm. You do the cross-dressing.
Cross-dressing, Honey, which I don't know if Honeybee Inn is even in there still.
Sad.
I hope it is.
I liked all the guys in the tub.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. It's like those little like funny things.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's silly and it makes me like I like a game that can take itself like chuckily.
Right. And there was like a lot of adult theme. If you ever seen like the Japanese version of the Honeybee Inn.
No, I don't.
Well, no. But I'm just saying, like the Japanese version of the Honeybee Inn has a lot more than the American version got. It's like a lot more adult themed stuff.
Well, if Grand Theft Auto 5 can show you having sex with people, does it show you?
It doesn't. It doesn't show you.
But if it can do that,
right,
then I think that we can have a little like
slap
gay innuendo. You know?
A little slap and tickle.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, I'm gonna just keep repeating myself that I like a game that doesn't take itself seriously.
Right.
It breaks up the dark. And it's like an adult game. I can't imagine children
playing Final Fantasy. Oh, I mean, I was 8 when I beat the game.
Yeah, that was just parenting decisions. But
I guess. But
you couldn't have bought that game in the store. The store wouldn't have get sold.
No. So. Right. You're right. But yeah, like, I hope that when we get it, it will be more than what the original was, face value.
Mm-hmm.
Because how do you cram 6 hours of gameplay? That's like, on average, probably what most people would get through Midgar at. It's like six hours.
Mm-hmm.
How can you cram 6 hours worth of gameplay into 2 full Blu-ray discs?
You keep staying on this 2 full Blu-ray discs, and I doubt it is. I feel like 1 Blu-ray disc will be the game. The other one's gonna be like...
You think it's gonna be just like a content disc?
Yeah.
Really?
I do. Or it's gonna be like part of the game's on this disc, and you just put it in like as an installation thing, and then
yeah, because I guess Red Dead 2 had 2 discs, which is like an install data disc.
Yeah. So
maybe
that's why I don't feel like it's gonna be this huge, expansive game that needs to switch out discs. Like, I don't buy that. I'm calling bullshit on that. I think it's gonna be like a...
I was like, why couldn't they do the full game on, like... Why couldn't they just do the full game? Why does it have to be 3 parts?
To make money.
I guess.
Or maybe they've just pushed it off for so long, they're like, well, let's at least get something out so people don't, like, completely give up.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm very looking forward to it, and I feel like I'm coming off as I'm not. I very much am. But there's just a lot of things that I still have questions on that didn't get answered, and I feel like a lot of people reviewing it or having access to it are already such fanboys.
They're just sucking it off.
So I'm like, I would love to see someone who really didn't have an opinion test it out without that kind of nostalgia glasses or the, like, this is my favorite game of all time glasses.
Yeah, because a lot of people that have already played the demo or went to E3 and saw it and have seen it for themselves, like, you would have to imagine are straight up 7 elitists.
Well, they have to be, because the amount of time that you wait to get access to a kiosk, like, you're in those lines for hours, I bet.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way you're going to stay in that if you're just kind of like, well, I could really give or take it, you know?
Right, no kidding. But, Lord Pantyhose, thank you for the host, dude. Yeah, no. And so, I would like to, I just want to see it for myself. That's why I've tried to stay away from others' opinions on it. Yeah, I've tried to stay away from other people's opinions on it because it's like, I don't want... It's almost like something you're super excited for and you hear everyone else either like sucking it off or hating on it.
I haven't heard anyone hate on it.
No, but I feel like that can just change your own perception
Yeah. I like graphics, no question. Amazing graphics.
Oh yeah, totally.
Gameplay, it looks like it's fun. But there's just a lot of things that I'm like, what are the environments gonna be? I would have loved to see like, Cloud just walking and then like different environments switching behind him or something to be like, this is what we could get, or this is what we could get, or this, versus like Midgar slums. It's a city. It's dark. There's like metal everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, is this really gonna be it?
Lord Pantyhose says, I can understand that. Look at Pokemon's Shield and Sword. People ripped on it for a long while, and then suddenly everyone enjoyed it when it came out. See, and that's that whole thing of me saying, like, so many people watch all these tech demos and trailers, and they're like, oh, that looks fucking stupid. Mm-hmm. They're like, well, I don't think I'm going to like that. I don't think I'm going to like that. And all these people have these built up, like, predetermined opinions of something already. And it can, it's like, I equate it to, like, hating on Nickelback, for example. Mm-hmm. It's just, like, the fun thing to do.
Mm-hmm. Or if you don't, then everyone's, like, laser focused. Like, why aren't you agreeing with everyone else?
Yeah, and it's, like, it's human instinct to, like, fit in. So if everyone's hating on something, it's, like, the popular thing to do is also hate on it.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, big things like this and giant releases, I tend to just, like, completely stay out of social media and, like, only watch necessary trailers to get what I need out of it. Yeah, good old bandwagons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm not on the hype train for 7.
Right.
I'm very, very cautious. Like, we didn't really get a whole lot. Like, the demo did give us a lot, but still not at the same time.
And we could watch the whole first Sector 7 of the playthrough because there's people that have the public demo and they're doing playthroughs of it. Chose not to watch that.
I didn't know that. But then it's like Sector 7 again, so it's like the same. I want,
that's like the first 20 minutes.
My ideal thing would be like Midgar as a whole is kind of like its own ecosystem, and it'd be really cool to go into like the like agriculture center or something and have it be like really lush and grass and almost like a jungle.
That would be cool.
And then like there's also got to be like a coolant system to keep it cool, and that could be like frozen, like kind of taken over by it. But then I think about like monsters, and if it's all a city, there's not going to be wild monsters in a city. And then I'm like, are all we're fighting going to be Shinra soldiers?
Well, the original had monsters in the city.
Where?
The slum areas.
Well, monsters.
You had the toxic, slugs. You've had, you had monsters like Dark Nation, like the dark dogs that like.
Yeah, we saw those in the trailer. I just feel like there's not that many. Like, you're not gonna get.
Unless they created a ton of new ones. And
but then, how does that fit in with the world, I guess?
Right.
Of, like,
and that's all
why would the city let... I can see, like, sewers or slums, like, okay. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too much about it. Maybe I'm putting too much real-world expectations onto a game. But these are my, like, hesitations.
Yeah, pantyhose. I mean, we've got 3 months left to do all the talking we want about it, but... So, yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things where I feel like we're just gonna have to wait. What's up, Gallimos? How's it going? But yeah, so, another thing to mention would be the fact that the second and third installments are literally console jumping. Also, we're gonna pull some pictures up here of the PS5 controller. We talked about Final Fantasy VII jumping PS5 in the second and third installments. So we're going to pull some pictures up here of early leaks of apparently what this is going to look like. Now, I've been told that the PlayStation 5 image shown here, the controller, I guess, is correct. But we're not sure if the actual console is a dev build for programming purposes only, because I don't know if, like...
Because I hate that.
Yeah, that looks really bad.
It's just... It looks like, you remember in the 90s where everyone had those crazy logos and, like, like Pepsi was like a weird like, woo, we're Pepsi, and then they like kind of adulted out and became just like, it reminds me of that kind of phase of like everyone's just being extra to be extra.
Right.
It looks horrible. And then I'm thinking of like stacking purposes. Now you've got this hole in the middle of it.
Right.
I hate it.
The PS binoculars. Exactly. It's like a giant V. But like I was saying, one of my coworkers, him and I were talking about the PS5. And he was telling me that this might just be the leaked dev build, like how they're programming the PS5 on.
It reminds me of like a Star Wars ship. Does it?
The PlayStation TIE Fighter. Yeah.
Right. And the bottom just looks like a DVD player. Like,
yeah, it looks like
I hope this isn't what it looks like, because this is a go.
Yeah, I do actually like the controller.
I feel like it's trying to turn into an Xbox controller, and I don't like it. Like, why is it like that indent?
I don't like the concaveness of it, but I do like that it's got a touch, like the actual screen on the controller.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I wonder how touch sensitive it is. Like,
what if you like fat fingered the screen? Like, what if your finger slipped and then you hit something? I don't know what that would
like
actually.
How much does that control? Because I could see like people being like playing something and accidentally hitting the middle button.
Yeah, and like what kind of actual purpose is that going to serve? Really,
it just doesn't look clean. I don't know. It looks like a third party controller.
Yeah, I really hope there's some fan lashback and like, this is dumb, and they're like, okay, cool, and then
I don't know. And then yeah, you might hold it and it might feel cool, but for looks purposes, it just looks third party. I don't know. The PS like, I feel like the PS4 button looks so like streamlined, and
yeah,
this just looks like chunky for no reason. Like, there's no purpose for this indented part.
Right. Depending on what it says, I mean, in some ways it makes sense, but it's not good looking design as is kind of thought of as a toilet seat.
Yeah, first. It looks like they're adding like extra fan power, which I appreciate. If it's running at such high speeds, it needs some way to cool off, but not looking like this. Yeah, I would rather it just look like a big fan.
They have some literal fan builds of what people have like made for the PS5. And some of these fan builds you can find are like way cleaner looking than this.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, you can just like type in PlayStation 5 on Google Images and you'll see some people have like made their own versions of what they want it to look like, and some of them are like really solid. But you also have to think about like usability, like is it gonna be able to like handle? Yeah, see? Not good looking, but if it works well, you know, that's kind of what it has to be. But I don't know. Like I said, this is also like rumored to be just a dev build.
I hope so.
Yeah. So, but the fact that, the fact that Final Fantasy VII is going to be ported to the PS5, just
I hope they make it PS4 and PS5 release, because like I would take a hit in graphics to just keep it on a console that I already own, because to ask people to not only shell out $120 and then to shell also $500, it's like,
granted it's 2 years later, but still,
yeah, and it's like people will do it, which is the sad part. There's so many people that can't afford it that still deserve to finish the game that they bought in 3 months.
And what I'm really wondering is not just like the fact that it's going to be on the next gen, but like how is your game going to translate over, like from PS4 to PS5? Like, do you lose all your stats? Do you start at level 1 again?
Or do you start at level 100, and then where do you go from there?
Yeah, I don't know. You spend all your time leveling your character up the first section, or the first part of the game, and then, like, what happens at that point?
That's true, pantyhose.
We'd have to take a hit in graphics if we're still use Blu-ray. Look at PS2 consoles. This one on the side. That's very true, yeah.
I don't know. And the other kind of hesitation with the games thing is like, am I gonna be satisfied after playing the first game?
Enough to continue.
But not even that, but like, who's the end boss? Is that gonna feel like I've ended a game, or is it just gonna feel like, well, now I gotta wait 2 more years to play my next favorite part?
Yeah.
Like, is it gonna feel like, wow, we've really built up to this like huge moment. We've took on this huge boss, and like, I love JRPGs for that fantastical, just crazy final boss. That you're like, look at what we have accomplished. Like, we before couldn't even beat sewer slugs, and now we're taking on this god, you know, which is like what Sephiroth is. Like, the Safer Sephiroth, like, literally supernova, like, cast worlds at you.
Right.
And that's like the first game. Is it like beating President Shinra? Or like Sephiroth killing him and leaving? Like, is that going to feel like such a...
Yeah, I really don't know. Because I know at the end of the Midgar section in the original, you fight Motorball, which is the
car thing, right?
The giant, like, spiked
Mad Max
vehicle thing, yeah. And it was like...
Is that going to feel...
that cool.
Right.
Cool enough to leave off for 2 years.
Yeah.
You know?
And be like, we did it. Or versus like, now what?
I don't know. I feel like I said, there's just a lot that we don't know.
Yeah. And it's a lot of like...
We could sit here all day and talk about how much
it could go wrong.
When really it could come out and like it would blow my fucking mind.
Yeah.
So.
But that's always what, especially when they're like, you're not gonna get as much of Sephiroth. And then I'm like,
but I feel like they added more Sephiroth because you don't see really Sephiroth at all in Midgar. So
I don't know. There's just things that it's like it's gonna be different, and I'm excited for the different. Like, I'm not holding on to it has to follow exactly the story. But I'm just hoping that they don't put so much into that it's a 3-part installment that they forget to, like, finish them as complete games themselves.
Right.
Because nothing feels worse than, like, finishing a boss and then just being like, and that's it.
Right. No, I agree. How long is the game supposed to be at all? We're just trying to... I don't know. Me personally, I'm trying to avoid any spoilers of, like, how the game looks and what goes into the battle, like, everything in the battle system. I know an okay amount of what the battle system is, but I'm trying not to give away or, like, ruin any of, like, how the game actually plays, like, in between bosses. So that I mean, yeah. So a quick question before we wrap up here that I wanted to ask you. Actually, 2 questions.
Oh, ready.
Are there any games you're excited for coming up?
Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about that one. That was the first game that I really branched out and tried a shooter, and I didn't suck at, which is a big surprise.
It's a great game.
And it was a great game, and it had a good story, and I felt like I loved it, and it paced well, and I felt like it was good. And so Last of Us 2, I'm really excited about that coming out. God, I don't really know what else is coming out that I would be excited about. Do you know anything that's coming out that I would be excited about?
Doom Eternal?
No.
Well, you liked the first Doom.
I did like the first. I liked watching you play. I couldn't play it.
Right.
It was too much. I'd be like, give me some space,
Demon. Get some Animal Crossing. I think it's funny that Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing come out on the same day.
You find that so funny, and I don't.
I do, because it's like polar opposite video games for some reason coming out on the same day. Like, why didn't Doom pick a different day to release their game?
I've never even tried Animal Crossing.
Neither have I.
There's a new Nintendogs coming out. I'd be pretty stoked.
Oh, I don't know how much playtime is like how long the game is supposed to be. That's the whole thing. I would rather not know. I'd rather just play and figure it out for myself.
Okay.
Okay, and then what other games am I don't know. Pokemon Sword just came out. That game's fantastic.
I'm enjoying it. It's kind of... It's alright. It's like, I wish there was a little more new about it. Like, it still seems like the same old game that you've played your whole childhood, which is nice. And I like that. But I just wish there was more, like, customizability. Or I wish you could, like, pick which town you started in. And that, like, kind of determined what gyms... I don't know. I wish there was a little more...
I think you're just into randomizers.
Like, I know.
I think that's the whole thing.
But I think there's so much freedom and customizability. And, like, I like finding, like, quote-unquote rarer Pokemon and being like, does everyone have this in their party? Is this a rare find? And then it's like, no, everyone starts out with, like, a Rookidee and a Choodle and a Nickit. And it's like, we all have the same parties. Versus, like, oh my god, I found, like... I don't know, a rarer Pokemon, the first, like, one, and, you know, I wish that was a little more random.
I do like the wild area.
I love the wild area. I wish there was more substance in it. I feel like there's a lot of, like, dead space in the wild area. Where I wish there was, like, I wish it would change a little more. Like, there's, like, sandstorms, and there's, like, ice, and there's, like, rain and thunderstorms, but I wish there was more, like, tropical and like frozen, and where like the normal game you go through and there is that variety.
Yeah, I think
just wish it was in the wild area.
The normal routes in the towns are all very different and cool.
Yeah, I like them. They've got cool themes and they don't feel like the same towns you usually run into. I wish there was a little more side questing. I like the, like, here, I'll trade you this Pokemon for this one. And
the
like,
in-game trades are pretty neat so far.
Yeah, and, like, there's a couple, but I just wish there was a little more to do that wasn't just, like, grinding for the next gem.
For sure.
But that's, like, how every Pokemon game has ever been. So it's, like, it's a tried and true, and I'll still play it. Right. I just wish there was a little more, like, what? We can do this? Like...
Yeah. I do like the Dynamax Wells and how they're random.
Yeah, I do like the Dynamax Wells. I really go hard on those. But I just, like, even the Pokemon jobs, I thought you could have, like, fun little mini games. But it's literally just, like, sending them off to get experience while you're not using them.
It's kind of like the Monster Hunter where you just send your Palico out to do random shit. Yeah.
So I just wish there was a little more uniqueness or like something that's like, this isn't your average Pokemon game, which I think the wild area does do that.
Yeah.
That is a lot of fun. And spoiler alert, we found our first shiny today.
Yeah, that was fun.
I found our first shiny today.
Totally random.
Totally amazing, like, second Pokemon I checked today. Shiny.
That was awesome.
But, yeah, I just wish the wild area was a little more, like, they're all just, like, grass, hills, water. There's a little bit of sand.
It's cool you can upgrade your bike and stuff, too, which is kind of neat.
Yeah. I just wish there was, like, a little more, I don't know.
I agree with that. It could be also expecting too much. They've mostly stuck to the same formula. Only thing that remotely changed anything were some mechanics for battles. Or how the Let's Go versions changed how you capture them. Yeah, Let's Go did the whole leveling up and all that. Like the random battles was strictly catching in Let's Go.
Yeah, you weren't ever fighting.
Yeah.
I liked Let's Go. It was very kid form though.
Yeah.
Like, the throwing got a little annoying, but I liked that you could like build chains to get more shiny rates.
And the world was very pretty looking.
Yeah, and that was definitely remaking a very simplistic game. So
yeah.
But I don't know. I just wish there was a little more love from Game Freak to their viewers that have supported and loved them for almost a quarter of a century.
They can still make more games and redeem themselves.
Yeah, and I think it's a great game. I wish they would have pushed themselves a little more. Then from what I've seen, there was a lot of shortcuts taken to make it look still like a good game, but wasn't like what they could have used on a Switch.
And like to a T reusing character models from old Pokemon and older games. Okay, with that said, the last question I want to ask you is, before we end, what was your 2019, since we're approaching the end of the year, what was your 2019 Game of the Year?
Oh.
Like, what did you really enjoy playing this year?
And I think the hard thing for me is what came out this year.
Yeah.
What did come out this year? What was a new game that we bought?
Resident Evil 2. I think that's my game of the year. I don't know.
See, the thing is, I don't buy new games. I buy old games after like the hype has long died, and then I'm like, I can quietly approach it.
Right.
I liked the Crash Bandicoot.
That was last year, I think. I can't. Oh, maybe.
Pull up a list of what came out in 2019.
Maybe Spyro Reignited.
That was good.
Yeah, that was a really good one. But
what came out in 2019?
let's see.
The Breath of the Wild, that came out so much longer ago.
Let's see. PS4 2019 game releases. The top 15 games you've been dying to play in 2019.
Beakers.
Death Stranded. Death Stranding. No, okay. Resident Evil 2, which is my game. Kingdom Hearts 3. Man, none of these are really all that great. If we're gonna be completely honest here. Wow, nope.
Wait, no, keep going. That wasn't all of them.
That was all.
That was all. Those are upcoming, babe.
I know. Oh, jeez, yeah, you're right.
What came out?
It's funny because we're like, "What's your game of the year?" And it's like, "Well, what actually came out this year?" December 2019? No.
Keep going now.
December 2019. To be. No. Final Fantasy 15 Stadia. 2020.
Okay.
It's literally not telling us.
I have no idea what my game of the year is because
we've played games that are from like.
I liked Fire Emblem. Three Houses. That came out this year.
Yeah, it did.
I really liked that game. I'm kicking ass my second playthrough.
Yeah, you've been really enjoying that when you did play it.
I really like that one.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never played a Fire Emblem before, and I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
What else came out this year? Boop.
That's the thing is like we haven't really bought many games this year.
I feel like we bought a ton of games. We just bought. What did we just buy?
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, that didn't come out this year.
That was way earlier. But I don't know. I feel like I'd have to say that Resident Evil 2 remake is mine.
Really?
I played the shit out of that. And speed ran it to death. It was just so fun. Kingdom Hearts 3 was the only game from this year that I've played.
I wasn't that big of a fan of the third one.
Kingdom Hearts 3 was pretty fun. I think it really lost me when I felt like all the battles were the same.
Yeah. That's what I felt too. It's like the same big battle scene. And it got a little too anime for me. With like the weird attacks where you could be in like a giant Ferris wheel.
Yeah. The teacup flying around and stuff.
Yeah.
I felt like it was a really neat concept.
Okay, I'm looking up Wikipedia 2019 in video gaming.
Yeah, the attractions were basically is what we were talking about. Yeah, where it's like all the different like Disney rides and stuff like that you could do. Oh man, those are crazy. I like never use attractions. I basically just play the game like normally.
Yeah.
Some of the worlds are really cool though, and like the Toy Story world, like that was really cool.
Did Odyssey come out this year?
No, that was last year.
What came out this year?
Right. Toy Story World, best world. Yeah, I didn't really have any problems at all playing through. I didn't die like barely at all. It was weird. Usually Kingdom Hearts games are a little more brutal than that, but didn't really have that much trouble. I don't even know. Like, I feel like I've opened up a can of worms that we can't get out of now. Like,
I know. Literally, I'm reading these and I've not heard of any of these. Devil May Cry 5 came out this year?
Yeah, didn't play that yet, but I've heard Tokinyo was telling me very good things about that game, though.
Sekiro. Then Final Fantasy VII was supposed to come out. Or am I in 2020 now?
Yeah, you're probably in 2020 now. Sekiro, I've heard, was really good.
No, this has to be 2019. This is. So maybe we were supposed to come out in March 2019. I pushed it back.
I have to play DMC5 now. I have to beat 4. I remember that time. Remember when I sat there and literally in like 3 days straight played the Devil May Cry games?
Yeah.
In a row.
Yoshi's Crafted World, never played. Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice.
Oh, that was a good game.
That was a good one.
That was a very good game. I feel like not many people know about that game.
10-2 remaster. I'd fuck with that.
That's on the Switch, but we've played that before, so that's good.
Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age.
For the Switch, yeah, that came out. We beat Final Fantasy 12 on the PS4. The Zodiac Age just as we moved in to the new house.
A Plague Tale, we gotta do that one.
Yeah, that's heard that's a good one.
Castlevania.
Yeah, they had the HD remaster of the first few games.
Little Friends, Dogs and Cats.
What was that game? Little Nightmares.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that was.
How did we ever hear of that?
I don't know. It was last year though. I don't remember how we heard of that. That was a good game. Octopath
Traveler.
That game was pretty solid.
What is for Win? Oh, maybe Windows? That wasn't this year, though, but it came out for Windows this year.
Octopath was really, really, really aesthetically cool.
I know. I have to finish it.
You were pretty far, too.
Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
I have not played that, but I've heard fantastic things.
What was one that you played?
Curse of the Moon.
Oh.
Which was the 8-bit rendition of it. Panio was just like, yes. Ritual of the Night is supposed to be fantastic. I'll have to look into that game because I've heard very good things about it. As far as like Metroidvanias go,
I really don't think I played anything.
I think Three Houses. I think is the one you.
I think that would have to be of the one that I've played.
The one and the only.
Fire Emblem, Three Houses. Mm-hmm. Wolfenstein Cyber Pilot.
Ever
play that one?
No, I did. Colossus.
Though. Oh, Madden NFL 20.
Oh,
easy. I love me some good football games.
Oh yeah, Ritual of the Night has a female lead.
For Bloodstained?
No, for Ritual of the Night.
What's Ritual of the Night?
Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Sorry, I thought in my head I thought you meant Curse of the Moon. Yeah. Curse of the Moon. Yes, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Yep.
What was the one you played? It had the 3 characters, right? And you could switch between them. One was a girl there.
Yeah, but the main character was a guy. So, but yes. Ooh. See, Panios even knows that you like the female lead characters.
I love me some female lead characters.
We're gonna get Blood.
Bubsy, Paws on Fire. That came out this year.
Anyone like Bubsy games? Yeah, I don't know.
What was the Spyro Reignited trilogy that came out this year? That was a good one.
Okay, I want to go into this saying this. I had never played Year of the Dragon before.
Such a good game.
Year of the Dragon became my favorite Spyro game because of the Reignited trilogy and playing it. I had always been super partial to the second game. But Year of the Dragon was so good. So good. And I had never played it on the PS1. And I enjoyed it very thoroughly. So, man, that was such a good game. So fun.
Yeah, so honestly, I'm into October right now, and I think Fire Emblem that I'm playing.
That's funny.
So that is my uncontested
Game of the
Year.
Yeah, I think I would still, as much as the Reignited trilogy was super fun.
Planet Zoo, that sounds fun.
As much as I liked Reignited trilogy and 100% all 3 games on there, I think I'm still going to have to go with Resident Evil 2 Remake because...
Oh, I could go with Pokemon Sword. I really am liking that one right now.
You think it beats out
Fire Emblem?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. Oof. I don't know about that one.
I really like Fire Emblem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ooh, okay.
I'd say it's a tie between Spyro Reignited and RE2 Remake.
Those are good ones.
Yeah. And then we'll just have to see what 2020 brings.
We'll see what a 2020 vision brings.
But we've got, so far, Doom Eternal and Final Fantasy VII Remake in March. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a big month.
Are you going to even get me a birthday present?
We'll see. We'll see. Maybe that'll be
my birthday will have to take a back seat.
Mm-hmm.
My birthday is your third important thing in that month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be a big month. I'm going to lose a lot of money that month.
Ooh, it's also co-op?
We're going to have to pick that up. That'll be fun. All right. Well, with that said, I think that's pretty much all we got for tonight. But I think we talked about a lot. We got through a good amount of content. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so yeah, I guess we're just gonna have to look forward to, like I said, what 7's gonna be like. PS5, I guess, has a fake, I don't know if it's a fake release date, but everyone's saying it's gonna be November 20th, 2020. So, and like the price is gonna be around $500-$600 for it. That's a steep price.
Very expensive.
But we'll see. Anyway, this has been, folks, this has been the third episode. Yes, third episode of the Coyote Cast. This will be uploaded to the YouTubes, so keep an eye out for it. Anyway, this has been Stunt Coyote and
Becca. Morse, of course.
Morse, of course. And yeah.
Follow me on Twitch. I'm very active.
Thank you guys so much, and have a great night and or day, wherever you're at. See you.